photo exchanging, right?
Radio paper.
Very well.
Thank you, members of the press. I join our SG, just our apologies. We should have started much earlier. But bear with us, circumstances beyond our control. I'm going to address you on basically two issues. One issue is regarding the practice of SG, the whole circus going on in the general court martial. Also about the DC calendar which has been rolled out today. The update the voters register. The question of Dr. Chiza Besigye, you may have noticed information coming through. It is quite clear that Dr. Besigye's life is in danger, increasing. The nation should be worried. We are extremely worried that Dr. Besigye's life is in danger. It's abundantly clear that the mission to finish him off is underway, just like we alerted you a couple of weeks ago that Mr. Museven's agenda is to send Dr. Besigye to the Hilton, and obviously events unfolding are a testament to what is happening. Number one, the restrictions being imposed on him, which are quite clear by the prison's authorities, is in solitary confinement as we speak right now. Previously, when they had just been demanded to Zira, it was easy to access him somehow. Of course, we had to go through some processes, but there were the normal checks that would be done in any given prison facilities. But increasingly along the way, they started imposing stringent measures. Now, where we stand today, accessing him is nearly possible. Those who have visited him of late, their testimony to the fact that you can hardly have physical intercourse with Dr. Besigye. He's in a cage-like a structure with glasses and then some telephone line which is installed there for communication purposes. Those of you who have visited some offices which are highly guarded, like embassies, the person you talk to is behind that glass, and the communication is not even private. So those are the new arrangements they have put there. As to the detention facilities, ideally you should be enjoying free interaction with the other inmates. But as we speak right now, he's in a solitary confinement all alone. Even when he faces issues that require assistance from anyone who is close to him, it's hard to come by. Accessing other inmates is now prohibited. And in addition to that, when you are on remand, in law, there are pre-trial rights. Is what we call pre-trial processes, pre-trial rights. You are not a condemned person. You are not a convict. There are rights you continue to enjoy even when you're in remand. One of those key, fundamental rights is the freedom of worship. If you noticed, by the way, those who have been to Zira and many other prison, facilities, there's more interaction by inmates of different sects, different denominations. They interact quite often. But for Dr. Chiza Besigye, not even on a Sunday that is allowed to attend church. All the inmates are allowed to do so. On Fridays, they go for prayers, Muslims. On Saturdays, the seventh days, and on any other days, because every day is a day for prayers. He's at liberty to pray as many times as he wishes. But he is not permitted to do so. That is an affront to the Bill of Rights. It's an affront to the pre-trial rights which are duly guaranteed under the Constitution. And they point to the mission Mr. Museven declared of eliminating Dr. Chiza Besigye. Then the other thing is about his welfare now. You know, it's a common practice. It's not prohibited under the law for your loved ones, friends, and whatnot to bring you foodstuffs when you are in prison. It's allowed. There's no problem with that. Actually, prisoners are allowed to cook for themselves. But with the Dr. Besigye, yes, initially he enjoyed that right, but now increasingly it is fizzling out. It all started towards the festive season when some outrageous pronouncement was made that from the 16th of December up to the 18th of January, no visitors would be allowed to go to Zira. It sounded like it was a rule of general application, but it was specifically targeting Dr. Besigye. Even when we visited him on the 23rd of December, it was a nightmare accessing. And even handing over the items we had to pay, they were taken to him. So now, a couple of days ago, the rules changed. Imposed the new rules that for one to bring the foodstuffs, they must cross-check that they don't fall in the category of those items they have within their in-house canteens. And you know what that means? That whatever is available there in their canteen can only be bought from there. Very irrational, unreasonable, outrageous, and of course illegal. You can't compel somebody to purchase items from your own canteen. What is their agenda? What is their intention in imposing that unconscionable and abhorrible condition? It points again to Museven's mission. And himself is very, very, very worried about that. Yes. He made an unequivocal decision never to procure items from their canteens. So if the situation remains like, if it remains like that, then there's going to be a stalemate. That you do not allow foodstuffs from the loved ones from out as long as they're in the canteen. Say, for example, millet flour, they claim they have it, rice, and a couple of other items. Yet, the millet flour is his staple food. I'm sorry to go into his private life, but this is quite obvious. And they knew it very well, that actually his main staple food is millet flour. Now they are saying you have to procure that one from their canteen, including milk, rice, and all those kinds of items. This is dangerous. So those are all ominous signs which, again, fit within the mission that we have explained to you. Now the bombshell was unleashed by his erratic son, Museven's erratic son. He is the CDF. He let the cat, literally, he let the cat out of the bag. He said, the agenda of the regime is to take Besigye through a perfunctory trial at the General Court Martial, which is a sham trial. But the ultimate decision of God is to execute him. And Heroes Day, that is 9th June this year. And that they have already identified a tree in Kuru, which they are going to use as a pillar for firing squad. Why specifically Kuru? Heavens knows. Probably they also know why Kuru. That speaks directly to the mind of General Kaguta Museven that Besigye should be executed. It speaks to the charges that are preferred against Dr. Kizza Besigye, specifically 2 counts. Section 128 of the UPDF Act talks about that offense of compromising the security of the country. Maximum sentence, you are liable to suffer death. Recently, they amended the charge sheet and they added on a professional accomplice who was featured in a number of criminal charges before the General Court Martial. It's called Dennis Ola. Dennis Ola has featured in a number of cases. The first one involving actually some NUP activists. And it is reported that over the last 2 years he's been on remand over the same, under the names of Dennis Ola or Moya something. Now they just picked him from wherever he had been kept and they put him in the same dog as Dr. Besigye and charged him with those offenses of treachery. It sounds like something simple, but it is in terms of the penalty, its gravity is in the cluster of terrorism and treason. Actually, it's another form, it's another term for treason because it carries a maximum sentence of death. The other 3 counts, of course, life imprisonment, that being in possession of firearm. But these 2 counts carry maximum sentence of death. So it's not without a reason that they did all that. That they are doing all those kinds of maneuvers. I mean, the charge sheet, add on to somebody. I mean, the charge sheet, bring on a new count which carries a maximum sentence of death. Please stop people from bringing foodstuffs from within the prison facilities. Also restricting his movements. Don't allow him to interact. So it's not without a reason. And obviously, we have told you the agenda is to finish him off. In the latest tweet, General Lukwago probably said that the events unfolding have actually made them change their mind, bring forward the date of execution from 9th of June to somewhere, I think in May or April somewhere. Surprisingly, nobody has got him the order. Or maybe not surprising. As expected, no single government official has called him to order. Not even his line minister. Or both. You can imagine, we just sympathize with both. I think even when they meet, it is both who salutes. If he knows even how to salute. So both has not come out to say so, to call him to order. The other line minister who could be also concerned, connected, is Kaindo Tafire. He's known to be outspoken. He's also tight-lipped now. We had to belittle and ridicule Parliament and say, those clowns, if they have summoned me on Monday, this is today. I will arrest all of them. And obviously the speaker also tight-lipped. So I think you all know the situation we are in right now. That the choreography is to finish off Dr. Kizabesi. So if anything happens to Dr. Besigye right now, Museven is squarely responsible. It's in the hands of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. It is Museveni commanding the General Court Martial. It is Museveni commanding the prisons authorities. It is Museveni commanding the UPDF. He is every institution in charge of Besigye's life right now, and all the processes is under the command of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The Bible says that the Commissioner General of Prisons, Frank Abayine, poor man, they can always speak out. And all these little ministers, they can speak about the Twitter accounts of Mohoza and whatever. Those are inconsequential. They are all inconsequential. The alpha and omega in all this scheme is Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and probably his close family members. Those are the ones who are in charge of the whole mission of taking Dr. Besigye to the slaughterhouse. It's the reason, as the legal team and all the political actors, we said we are not going to sit back and escort Dr. Besigye to the slaughterhouse. That's not going to happen. And the reason we have said now, the General Court Martial, as a kangaroo court, we can't allow them to just take Dr. Besigye into that perfunctory trial, that process. Just like the case was during those biblical days of King Herod, when Pontius Pilate just had to conduct a sham trial of Jesus, but when a decision had already been handed down for his execution. We're not going to happen. I mean, we're not going to allow that process to continue and happen that way. So, as a legal team, of course, headed by our senior colleague, Martha Karua, we are doing everything possible to get those proceedings away from the General Court Martial. Arrangements have been finalized to go to the Constitutional Court, which has severally pronounced itself on the constitutionality of subjecting civilian to court martial. Or they have on several occasions pronounced themselves on this abhorrible practice of subjecting civilian to martial law. Dr. Besigye is not subject to martial law, and we insist, and it's one matter we have to take to the Constitutional Court, of course, with other issues regarding the due process, as we shall be explaining to you. And also, Mr. Museven's mission of executing Dr. Besigye definitely is going to boomerang. We are going to nip it in the bud. We are going to do everything possible. We are going to leave no stone unturned in thwarting Museveni's nefarious mission of executing or killing Dr. Besigye. We are not going to allow that to happen. We are determined as a team. So there are a number of activities we have lined up, which may not be for the benefit of the public as of now, but from all the meetings we have had, including this morning engagement, a number of activities and programs that we have lined up, and they will be rolled out in due course. Our message to the Abasaija, as the Commissioner General, please comply with the dictates of the law. We don't think you want to be an accomplice in the execution of Dr. Besigye, that we want to have this case blood on your hands, Mr. Yabashaija. To Frank Abayime, you have treated this matter with a lot of arrogance. Calm down. Respect the command of the Constitution. Understand how delicate this matter is. How delicate it is. Rather, how delicate it is to have the person of Dr. Besigye's life in your hands, Mr. Yabashaija. You don't know what it means. You're paying good fine. They're just putting you on notice. So stand up to General Museven and tell him he's asking you to do much more than you have powers to do. Stand up to General Museven and tell him the truth. The Speaker of Parliament, stand up to Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Both, I don't know. What message can we give him? And you know, when they removed the Oreru Huda from that ministry, anyway, for that my country. With our brother Aaron Chiza, all efforts are being made to secure his freedom, his liberties. You know, he's illegally incarcerated. We have approached Uganda Law Society to step up measures because the legal fraternity should be concerned about the state of affairs, the threats being meted out against lawyers who cannot freely execute their duties in that staff room, in that environment which is hostile, which is not conducive for dispensation of justice. So we invited the president of the Uganda Law Society, Mr. Semakade, to rise to the occasion. Uganda Law Society gives mandate to the legal profession, actually to that body, the vanguard of fundamental rights in Uganda, rule of law, constitutionalism, to be at the forefront. That's our call. We insist that please, even if it means laying down the tools, members of the legal fraternity should do so, especially about the oppressive nature of the general court martial process there. And in light of the new dispensation where the Supreme Court curtailed the mandate of the civilian courts when it comes to matters which are before the general court martial. The recent decision in Ogwanga's case in the Supreme Court, where they said that once matters have been handled in the general court martial, if you are dissatisfied with the process there, if you are dissatisfied with the conviction, don't appeal to the civilian courts. Don't come to the High Court, don't come to the Constitutional Court, don't go to the Court of Appeal. That is the decision they came up with towards the end of last year, which is very, very absurd and regrettable. These are all matters which should be cause concern to members of the legal fraternity who are the vanguards of rule of law. And it's the reason we invited them. Even if it means laying down the tools, going on a sit-down strike, it should be done to ensure that the rule of law prevails. It's the reason we invited Mr. Semakate. His platform as the new president, back to the roots, the new radical bar, bank tables, all back on track. All this mantra signals one thing, that please, action is needed, that we need to do things which are extraordinary. We are not in the ordinary times, usual environment. So we are doing everything possible also to enforce, to go to court, the ordinary courts of law, the courts of judicature, to enforce the rights of our brother Aaron Chiza. We are teaming up with a very, very formidable team of lawyers across both. They may not be part of the PFF or whatever, or Dr. Besigye legal team, but they are there in the civil society world, in the academia, and elsewhere. They are many. It's a very big network, and we're very grateful to all of them, all the actors who have come out to vigorously pursue this. Now, the last issue is about, no, but before we take a leave of this matter, as the PFF, we have taken a decision to defy the stringent measures that have been imposed by the prisons authorities to stop us from taking the food there. We are continuing to take food to Dr. Chiza Besigye. So we are putting Mr. Biabashaija on notice and his entire team, please comply with the law, unless you are going to arrest all of us. We are going to bring the kashera, the military flag. We are going to bring rice. We are going to bring cooking oil. We are going to bring all items. All the items we consider to be necessities in the life of Dr. Chiza Besigye. We are going to continue bringing them to Ruzira, beginning from today.
Freedom for all for freedom.
Freedom for all. So we are not going to allow you to offer an environment that will ease Museven's mission of killing Dr. Besigye, because obviously, if he is restricted to their food there, the mission is to poison him, nothing else. They want to poison him, that is the fact. Many people have been poisoned from prisons, many. We don't need to list the names here, you know, many who have died under mysterious circumstances. Now, the EC registration exercise. They have announced today their commencement, the voter registration update exercise, which I think it has got a deadline in February. But it comes at a time when the EC is embroiled in controversies. This is a paradox. You know, of recent, the headlines have been so screaming. 5 top officials have been sacked over mismanagement of EC affairs, including the funds meant for this exercise. There is Renat Mulekwa and others. Renat Mulekwa, I think, has been the spokesperson and the others. So the house is not in order, obviously. They are in a terrible crisis. Now they are rolling out a very, very significant and important exercise when they are in a state of disarray, of confusion. Big headlines screaming. So how can one trust that exercise to begin with? When money you are saying it was meant for this exercise has been squandered, and the top officials in the EC are implicated in the same. Shockingly, they have not been prosecuted. All we heard is that they have been interdicted. They are just seated at home. Just suspended, actually, not even interdicted. Suspended, not prosecuted. That is the EC which is hitting the road with an assurance that whatever exercise they are going to engage in is credible. It's a paradox. But most significantly for us as BFF is the fact that they have not finalized the process of registering our formation. And they want our entity to actively participate in the process when they have been dilly-dallying with the issues regarding our registration. We finalized the process last year. With Submissions Act is put in mandatory terms that the EC may verify the particulars contained in those particular documents. May or may not. But they have taken it as a given, as a mandatory requirement that every minute detail has to be verified. It would suffice if they had just sampled and said in every district we shall call about 2 or 3. If they confirm that they are the ones who signed, you don't need to waste a lot of time. Now we hear there is even collusion with the RCCs, the DSOs, and wherever. They are going village to village, hunting down some of our leaders who signed it on these papers. They are intimidating them. All that for what? Now, more recently, they raised them. Want to participate in your exercise. Want to participate in your exercise. Now, here we are. Once we set out to go into the field, to mobilize the people, they say, who are you? But you are the one who is having our document. So we are asking Mr. Biabasaidia, please. Oh. We are asking Mr. Biabakam. We are asking Mr. Biabakam, please. You have rolled out the exercise today. Fine. But we want our certificate today. Because the promise you made, which was unequivocal, you will be done with the exercise of verification by 16th January, and shortly thereafter, you'll be ready to give us our certificate. So, our participation or non-participation in this exercise, or the active role, or whatever role we are going to play, is a matter we shall let you know about. Because today, we are going now to dispatch a team to the EC to collect our certificate. So once we have gotten that certificate, then we'll let the country know our next course of action. That is where we stand today as the team here at Katonga. But our main priority is the safety and life of Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye, who is not only the commander at Katonga here, who is not only the central figure in all the processes we have, but a key pillar in all the governance issues in this country. And I'm sure all of you now, you can bear testimony to that. That once he is out of action, can see the somber mood in the country. Everywhere you go, it's a somber mood. People are just whispering to one another, people are just talking in tongues, people are just because the lion is somewhere in a cage. So we want that cage broken, we get the lion to roar again. Thank you, may God bless you.
Thank you so much. If you have some questions, the president can take the questions.